Hey y'all, how are you doing? I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. Let's just get some things out of the way. If you follow me on Twitter, then you know that I I had an incident with my hair today. Um, I planned on going live today because I knew I was going to get my hair done. I thought, Kim, we've been wearing weave for so long. Let's go weaveless. And so I decided to get my hair pressed because a woman I follow on Instagram was doing it for cheap. And after she was done, you know how I got a glimpse of it before she was done. So you know how they're working on your hair and there's a mirror and like you look up real fast and you see a glimpse of yourself in the mirror? I looked up and I saw that glimpse and I was right, but I said, Kim, don't freak out. It's not done, Kim. It's not done. She might be doing something, she might be taking it to another level. Okay. She didn't take it to another level. Okay. Um, this is what happened. This live is probably not gonna stay up because no, I look like Candace Owens, okay? Okay? Like this is I don't have black friends hair, or this is like I'm first grade Easter hair. It looks so bad. That's funny. And this is after I've tried to make it work, okay? Like I've tried to, okay? Look at this. Look at this bump, okay? Adults don't not do that to their hair, okay? Okay. Okay. Anyway, oh god. Anyway, um I am not my hair. India already said that, okay? She told us that you are not your hair. It's so bad. It's really bad, you guys. And then after it was done, I was like, and also she was supposed to trim it. I don't feel like she trimmed it. It's so bad. It's worse than I ever could have imagined. Like I haven't straightened my hair in years. And so I like looked at YouTube videos about people like getting silk presses and I was like, "Oh, this will be great." I guess I don't have silk press hair. I guess that's, like embrace your natural texture. I think that's what we're going to get from this. So here I am looking like the mother of the deaconess board. But that's okay. We're gonna we're gonna make it work. I'm not my hair, so I'm not gonna talk about it after this. I just want you to know that I expected to come on here tonight with my hair looking like something, not like this. And this is how it looks after I've tried to zhuzh it, you guys. Okay, okay. These are my adjustments. So imagine what it was looking like before the adjustments. Anyways, okay. So I am here to answer questions. I'm looking, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now I'm like getting nervous sweat. And so now I'm going to just sweat it all out. Anyways, if let's learn some lessons from this. One, embrace your natural texture. What are you even doing trying to straighten your hair anyways? Why do that? Okay. Number two, if somebody is offering a service at a ridiculously cheap price, ask yourself, why? Why is it so cheap? What's going on? I guess number three, I maybe it's my fault. I didn't come in with any pictures. I did say, do whatever the kids are doing these days. I'm open, is what I said. So that was a mistake. Because now I look like I have to practice my Easter speech. It's okay. It's really okay. Or or I'm going to answer some questions. This is probably not going to stay up unless I have some really good answers. So ask me some questions. I do ask, though, that you at me, at FORHARRIET, so that I can see your questions more. Um, what else? Oh, the good things. The good thing. So I picked a winner of the first FORHARRIET grant. I said that I was going to commit to giving $250 to a Black woman in college. Sister Foster, please. You guys are cracking me up. Okay. So I did that. And so after I said I was going to give a Black woman in college $250, so many people inquired and said, oh, I want to give money. Like, I can't do 250, but I can do 10. And I decided I don't want to take all that money because, you know, the IRS is a real thing and I don't want to have to report that income, and I'm not setting up a charity. So we set up a fundraiser for Naya. And that fundraiser, we just closed it. That fundraiser raised $2,000, you guys. That means that this community is responsible for getting $2,000 to a young Black woman in college. That is crazy to me. Look, I love to do this. I love having opinions. I love sharing them. It is such a blessing to be able to just talk shit for a living. But the fact that, like, we were able to come together and, like, do that, like, a good deed for somebody is insane. Like, that makes it worth it. $2,000 when I was in college might as well have been $1 million. Okay? So, I'm so glad that we got to do that. We're doing it every month. So, if you weren't able to give for November, we're doing it every month. I'm so excited. The money goes straight to them. It's not going into my hands at all. Like I said, okay, I'm not taking any extra income that I don't get to deposit into, I don't want to have to disclose that income on my taxes. So it goes straight to her. That was great. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to answer some questions now. Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay. Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize we were doing this. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Alexis Crawford case? I think it's an unimaginable horror. I think that, you know, I ridicule people who are like, I didn't know what it meant to feel affected by something until I had a child or whatever. But now that I do have two nieces and I'm obsessed with them and I love them so much and I'm deeply invested in them becoming flourishing, productive members of society and kind and generous, when stuff like that happens, it really makes me think of just how terribly heartbroken that I would be. And especially because it feels like there have been so many cases of Black women and Black girls going missing, being murdered. Every time I see one of those cases, my heart breaks. It's indescribable. I will say that over the past week or so, different details from the Alexis Crawford case have been leaking out. So Alexis Crawford was murdered by her roommate and her roommate's boyfriend after Alexis reported to the police that the boyfriend had raped her. And so now we're getting these little details slowly leaking out where the boyfriend strangled her and the Jordan, I think the roommate's name is Jordan. Jordan suffocated her, and the boyfriend and the roommate hid her body in a park. And then the roommate called Alexis's parents. Like, what type of shit? What the fuck? And this is why, look, straight women who have relationships with men, what the fuck is wrong with us? What the fuck? That's some real, like, cold-blooded murder to protect the person that you're dating. Come on. Let's be better than that. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. I think it's really terrible. Okay. How did you know you wanted children? I don't want children. Heterosexuality is the ghetto. I don't want children at this point, though. I will not even going to say that. But how do you feel when people online call you Harriet? I just assume that they have not engaged with the brand. I think people calling me Harriet is particularly egregious when they call me Harriet in an email that comes to Kimberly at FORHARRIET.com. Okay? Now that's when I'm like, what the fuck? What are you even doing? Okay? Get your shit together. When people call me Harriet, when you typed in Kimberly, stop it. When people ask me for money and put Harriet, people ask me to do stuff for them and call me Harriet. Now come on now. If you gonna ask for something, at least know my name. How do you reconcile religious doctrine with feminism? I'm not particularly religious at this point in my life, but there has been lots and lots of work around womanist theology, liberation theology. So I am not an expert on this, but I think that biblical texts are open to interpretation. We all, even the hardcore evangelicals pick and choose. We interpret any text based on our worldview, based on our interests. And I think that womanist theologians have done a pretty good job and a convincing job of imagining the Bible and imagining the Christian church, particularly the Black Christian church, as a space that offers opportunity for Black women. Who would I suggest if you're into womanist theology? Monica Coleman, Katie Cannon. Who else would I suggest? People who are familiar. I will say a younger womanist theologian. Her name is Candace Benbow. There are so many, great. And if you're just into like liberation theology, everybody goes to James Cone. It's a different way to imagine our relationship with Jesus. It's a different way to imagine our relationship with the church. It's helpful. Okay. Did you pay the hairstylist? Yes, I have to. I did pay. She did work. It wasn't satisfying. You know what? Not only did I pay, but I tipped. Okay. That's the kind of person I am. Okay. I paid more. What are your biggest fears? Oh my gosh, is this therapy? I would say my biggest fear right now is not living up to my potential. Yeah. And now my biggest fear, because I'm obsessed with my nieces, I do worry about things happening to them, certain kind of violence happening to them, assault, even just like accidents. Yeah. What to do after college? I don't know you, so I can't tell you what to do after college. Do you see a problem in the growing numbers of gay Black men? No. People been gay forever. We are just getting to a point where people feel comfortable saying I'm gay. If you think, this is what's so crazy to me. If y'all think that one day in 1940 or 1960 or 1980 or 2000, people just started being gay out of nowhere, you're wrong. Okay? That's not true. Gay people were not just invented. They've always existed. Are we at a space societally that accepts people when they say, I have same-sex desires? And now, thankfully, we are moving toward a world where people feel more open, identifying, I am doing this video coming up with Gen Z women talking about sexuality. And one thing that really struck me was I asked about their identities, how they identify their sexuality identities, and almost all of them, except for 2 or 3, identified as bisexual or pansexual. Now, that could be a function of the kind of community that I have created where people feel comfortable, like if you have those identities coming here. But I think it is also about a growing acceptance of what is your sexuality? What space do you have to explore? So no, it's not a problem. Get that homophobia out of here. Okay. How are we supposed to respond to racist harassment? Got called the N-word on the subway the other day. I mean, I don't know. It's so case by case basis. I don't have a solution for you. I don't know. Go to therapy if you can. Create a community where you have the opportunity to process those feelings. But I am not somebody who thinks that every time somebody says some racist shit to you, that you should like fight them. I know that that's a popular thing that people say on Twitter and on social media, like, oh, you should have fought her and called it a day. I'm like, you want to ruin the rest of your life over a random racist asshole? If we know how the prison industrial complex works, if we know that, particularly if you're on the subway, now in New York, they hired all those cops just to harass people and arrest people for no reason. They're itching for a reason to get you caught up in that system. Why throw that shit away over a random racist? I believe in self-preservation. So I know that when somebody calls you the N-word, you want to hit him and drag him or whatever. I'm not mad at you if you do that, but I'm not counseling you to do that. Do you want a future? Okay. We already know prison ain't nowhere you want to be. You want to be on probation for the next 10 years? Stop it. So yeah, there's no easy answers. I'm sorry that happened to you though. Any thoughts on Ari Lennox being snubbed by Soul Train Awards? I will say that I don't like the way that people so happily shit on Lizzo. I love Lizzo. I think that if you feel like you created a great body of work and that work has not been properly acknowledged, that you're going to feel a type of way. I think that maybe, this is what I'll say. I think maybe Ari's relationship to social media is not the healthiest. I love her. Fucking BMO. That is my motherfucking jam. I do feel like sometimes that because we are addicted to social media and we are addicted to the instantaneous feedback, that instant gratification that we can get by posting a thought or making a video or whatever, it doesn't give us an opportunity to think things through. And so I think maybe if we just get if we just take a moment to let's think about it. And let's collect ourselves. And then let's come to the public platform. I think that would be beneficial. Sarah Brown says, what book are you currently reading? If none, what's your favorite book? Right now, I am currently reading White Negroes by Lauren Michelle Jackson because I'm doing an interview with her on Wednesday. White Negroes is a new book. It's about cultural appropriation. It is so interesting. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. Ownership of Black beauty supply stores. That's not a question. Thoughts on the impeachment trials. I watched the first day or so, and I've listened to podcasts that summarize what's happened in the impeachment trials. But because I don't have a lot of hope about what the outcome is going to be or the effectiveness of these trials, I just can't really be particularly engaged in it. The president and everybody around him, they are fundamentally corrupt. At this point, the entire Republican Party is aiding and abetting that corruption, so they are just as culpable. But do I think that anybody's going to face some real repercussions for that? No. And I sometimes feel bad that I feel that way because it does feel nihilistic. It feels fatalistic. I don't want to perpetuate hopelessness because I do feel like there are things that we can do to kind of ameliorate some of this terrible stuff that's happening. But I just can't, I got other stuff to worry about. Thoughts on Rodney Reed? Oh, God, you trying to get me caught up like Amanda Seales. I do not think I trust the organizations that have gone up for Rodney Reed and that have taken on his case. So I believe, based on what they have presented, that Rodney Reed did not murder that woman. What is her name? Sarah Stikes or something? But I don't know if I'm convinced that he ain't never committed some heinous act. I don't think I'm convinced of that. So, do I think that it's a good thing that he was not murdered for a crime that he didn't commit? Yeah. But do I think that Rodney Reed is 100% innocent in the rest of the shit? No. But I am okay. I am okay with people, with activists and organizers trying to halt his execution. One, because I do not believe that the state should be murdering people. Sorry. The racist police state, the racist mass incarceration complex should not be killing people. Don't trust you with that. But am I going to be really going up for Rodney Reed like that? Probably not. Probably not. Glad he didn't get murdered, though. Thoughts on Judith Butler? I love Judith Butler. I think Gender Trouble is a critical text or crucial text. When did I read Gender Trouble? A year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So freaking good. She has other texts, other articles that I also think are really good, interesting. She has articles on like precarity. Yeah. I'm into Judith Butler. I would love to sit down and talk to her. Will you be doing any events in DC in the near future? I will. I am going to start back doing events. I am going to do that. Speaking of the unwanted, thoughts on Amanda Seales? Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. Amanda Seales means well. But, this is another thing. This is going back to maybe our unhealthy relationship with social media. I think that social media incentivizes us to come out with our ideas and say things without carefully considering the implications of those ideas. Social media incentivizes us to put out half-baked, barely thought out ideas into the world. And sometimes that stuff comes back and bites us in the ass. And sometimes there's negative feedback when we come forth with ideas that just needed to incubate a little bit more, right? Maybe it's a seed of a good idea, but it just needed more time. And sometimes I think Amanda gets caught up in it just needed to, it's not ready, It hasn't hatched yet. But I do think that she means well, and I do think that she gets a lot of shit in part because she espouses Black feminist values. I did not agree with a lot of the stuff that she was saying on her interview with the Breakfast Club. I think that self-reflection is hard, It's hard to reflect on your participation in stuff and why people might be reacting to you the way that they are. And I think that is difficult for Amanda Seales, as it's difficult for a lot of us. Sorry, How can I improve? I just picked my nose on camera, and I hope nobody saw that. I didn't mean to do it. Sorry. How can I improve my vocabulary in the way that I speak? I love the way you speak. Do you have any self-help book recommendations? First of all, I'll say that I think a part of this is just I have a gift. You know how like some people can just sing, like they're great singers, and it just comes naturally, and like from the time that they were 3, like they were amazing singers. I just think that I've been really fluent ever since I was a little kid. Really, really good at talking. And then I learned how to be better at talking through doing like debate and doing competitive speech. And I've always loved to read, a voracious reader from a really young age. And I love to listen to other people talk. So I just think that a big part of it is just, some people are great artists, some people are great singers. I just am a good talker. But I definitely read. And I had really good education early on. What's so interesting is, I've been thinking about this. A lot of the words that I use when people are like, oh, you use so many big words. I'm like, but I learned this word in 3rd grade. So like a part of it is having good, rigorous K through 12 education, That's that. Sorry, that doesn't help you, but I do read a lot, and I love to read. Like, if you love words, read the New Yorker. I read the New Yorker, and I come across so many words that I've never heard before, and I love that. That's exciting to me. That's why I'd be so perplexed when people are like, you use too many big words and it's inaccessible. I'm like, I get excited when I see a word that I don't know, but that's just because I like language. There are some pro-black YouTubers that have criticized the site FORHARRIET. I started FORHARRIET 9 years ago when I was 21 years old in college. I know that there are pro-black people who don't like FORHARRIET. I've been dealing with them for almost a decade now. I mean, you can be the juiciest peach in the world and people still won't want to pick you. So, and honestly, I have lots of deep disagreements with other people who say they're pro-black. So do I expect my shit to be cool with everybody? No. Okay? And they're not, right? So anyways, there's something for everybody. I'm not for everybody. Their shit is not for everybody. It is what it is. Okay? My main concern at this point in my life is, do I have integrity? Is the stuff that I'm doing in my private life, in my personal life, does that match up with the stuff that I'm saying in public? Am I willing to admit when I've made a mistake? And am I being factually accurate? Those are the things that I care about. So as long as I'm doing that, I don't care. I don't care about all that other stuff. I don't want to be in your movement. I don't want to watch your documentary. That's fine. Okay? I'm over here. Do you think Judge Joe Brown is crazy? I wouldn't say he's crazy. Crazy is an ableist term. I would say that he is a virulent misogynist. The kind of sexist that I avoid at all costs. And the kind of sexist who he is not gonna be redeemed. I'm not trying to have no conversations with you. I'm not trying to convince you wrong. Okay? Be a nasty misogynist over there, and I'm gonna be over here. What are your thoughts on gay individuals who are also racist? Do you think there's a double standard there? Ooh, these questions are secretly really homophobic, but here's what I'll say. Yes, there are gonna be racists. There are straight racists. There are gay racists. I feel the same way about gay people who are racist as I feel about black people who are sexist. That seems like a double standard to me. Okay? There are all kinds of people who have blind spots. People are primarily self-interested. Generally, people only want to secure rights for themselves and the people that they care about. They only want to go out on a limb for the issues that affect them directly. So no, I'm never surprised when a gay person is racist. I'm not surprised when a black person, a person of color is racist or sexist or homophobic. It happens. Okay. I would say though, I had a great conversation with Sonia Renee Taylor today, and I will say though that a foundational part of Black feminist theory is you can't participate in one form of oppression and think that that shit is not connected to all the other forms of oppression that you experience. So, for example, gay folks are racist, right? They feel like they can compartmentalize their racist. But they don't understand that the system that marginalizes black folks, other people of color, the system that perpetuates xenophobia is also the system that hates gay people. It's also the system that prioritizes a toxic masculinity, that demonizes effeminate men. That shit is all connected. So you think you doing some shit over here and that it's not gonna come back around, but it's gonna come back around for you. And that's why I'm a Black feminist. What are your thoughts on voting? Do you believe people who don't vote are irresponsible, or do you think voting is set up to prevent change? I think that there are many fronts for this fight. I think activism is one front, organizing is one front, but if you believe, I don't think that you can say that electoral politics don't matter and be really connected to reality. I just feel like I understand that we want to live in a world where we don't have to depend on electoral politics to get any of our needs met. I get it, right? And I understand people who say that we want to work toward that world. We're not in that world, okay? And so electoral politics, and I'm not just talking about the presidency. I'm talking about what happens at state level, at municipal levels. That stuff does affect you. It affects your ability to move freely in your community, in the world. It affects your ability to access resources. So, it's bullshit that we have to rely on these corrupt systems to make sure our needs are met. That's bullshit. I agree with you. That fucking sucks. Because they all corrupt and the money is tainting our politics in a way that is absolutely disgusting. And you know, a lot of these white people are racist anyway, and a lot of these black folks are classist anyway. But electoral politics affects your life. So you can choose to abstain if you don't want to participate in a corrupt system, but there are consequences for that. Real consequences. We out here praying right now that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, an 86-year-old woman who has had cancer three times, we out here praying that she don't die because of what the consequences that will bring for us in the Supreme Court. Because of the man that white folks selected in 2016. That don't make no damn sense. This woman is 86. She should be out laying up somewhere. She had cancer 3 times, you guys. She going to the hospital because she had chills. She old. She should be retired. She can't retire because of the nut that is in the White House right now. So electoral politics does matter. And I'm sorry, I get it. I get it. I am not particularly enthused about any candidate at this point in time. Okay? But here's what I know. I understand if you feel like the outcomes that we desire are not going to be achieved primarily through electoral politics. Right? If you feel like we're not going to be able to progress meaningfully via electoral politics, I understand that. But one thing I also know for sure is that shit can get worse, notably worse, that we can regress in ways that will have devastating effects on our communities, on our lives. So maybe you don't have faith in the voting system to get us to an ideal society. But if we want to stop the further retrenchment of liberties, of civil liberties, then voting is a thing. Okay? It can get worse. Okay? It can get worse. And I believe in harm reduction. I would like us to stop things from getting worse. Thoughts on the Queen and Slim trailer? It looks good. I'm gonna go see Queen and Slim. I've heard great reviews about it from people that I trust. I'm a Pisces. People ask me my zodiac sign all the time. Have you and some other folks in your YouTube genre considered going on tour? Or, oh, I'm sorry, I missed the question. Considered going on tour? No. I'm going to be so honest with you. I'm going to be just super, super honest. And this is not going to stay up, so I don't have a problem being honest. I have a problem trusting people who are extremely online. And I know that that doesn't make sense because I'm extremely online and I have this platform. But something that I am working through is I do not trust. I don't. And especially when like people who are extremely online, when I've heard them talk about other people who are also online, it's like, I don't want to be a story in your video. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think that I behave with integrity. I think that I'm not moving funny. You know, I try to own up to my mistakes. But I don't want to be a story time. You know? So that makes me so hesitant and so paranoid. And I know that it's probably not particularly helpful. But people ask me all the time about this, and that's the reason why. You know? Do you think the depiction of the black man... I am not... Oh my God. Do you think the depiction of the black man masquerading as a caricature of the black woman lends a disservice to the black community? I don't even want to go there. This is not the channel for that question. Pop Culture Guru asked, why do you think black girls aren't allowed to be pop acts without forcing them into R&B rap categories from both black and white people? So I think that black people, we want to be inclusive. So I think that like if there's somebody who is popping, whether it's a Rihanna or a Lizzo or whatever, or a Normani, we want to be inclusive. We want to be able to invite them into our spaces. And so that kind of, it incentivizes us to like collapse the genre categories. With white people, it's racism. White people see a black person and they say it's R&B. And it's not, you know? So, you know, Rihanna has had this problem. Drake has had this problem. You know, when Drake's like Hotline Bling was put in the rap category at the Grammys, Lizzo is gonna have this problem. They see black people and think that we only do R&B and rap. Do you have tips for dealing with loneliness? I would say, what's the cause? Like, think deeply about what the cause of that loneliness is. You know, I think there's different kinds of loneliness. You know, it's like, are you lonely because you don't have a man? Are you lonely because you've lost touch with your friends or you're not close with your family? I don't know. It really depends. This is why therapy has been great for me. Carla Santos says, Judge Joe Brown is married to a white woman. Why am I not surprised? He's married to a white woman. No, I'm not shocked at all. I'm not shocked. Have your views evolved on Finding Neverland? Nope. Do you believe in aliens? Do I believe that there could be another life form out there? Sure. But do I believe in aliens like the way that they're popularly depicted? No. But I don't know, like, there's so many galaxies and so many planets. Like, you think we're the only people? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me to think that we're the only people, the only living beings out there. I don't know. Jarrell Jones says, I've been watching you for a while now. You, Chrissy, Julesy, and Just Latasha have inspired me to write stories with your video subject matter. Thank you, Jarrell. What did they ask during your Harvard interview? Girl, that was like 13 years ago, 12 years ago. I'm sure it's different by now. I don't know. That I brought my resume because I'm a crazy person. I'm an overachiever, and we talked about the resume, and we talked about what I was into and what my aspirations were. I don't know. I'm sure it's different. As somebody who is Gen Z. What is your favorite? Who is your favorite Black woman director? Dave DuVernay, Dash, Paul C, Bythewood Lemons, D. Reese, Dunye, Collins. You know, I'm gonna say that Daughters of the Dust by Julie Dash. That's my shit. That's my shit. It's beautiful. Yeah, I really like Julie Dash. I think I just saw something about she's gonna make another movie. That would be great. I liked Pariah a lot. D. Reese's Pariah. Loved that. I like Ava DuVernay. I like that Ava DuVernay is so versatile. I love that. Don't get pigeonholed. I don't love everything that she makes, but I like that she does stuff. And Queen Sugar is a shit. So, I like a lot of different people. Do you believe in astrology? Not really. I believe in it on the most surface level. Am I like dating people based on astrology? No. I don't do the Mercury's and retrograde stuff. No. As I've said over and over again, never mind. I'm not going to say that. But no, not really. But if you're into it, that's cool. Do you have any thoughts for creatives who have a hard time doing conventional work, especially considering the pursuit of creative work isn't always an option to make a living? I would say I have known for a long time that I was not meant to have a job. Ever since I was a little kid. I mean, literally when I was 8 years old, I have a diary from when I was 8. I wrote in my diary, I want to own my own business, So I think that it's really, really hard to be a creative if you're not also entrepreneurial. And everybody's not. And unfortunately, in capitalism, if you don't have those skills, it's just hard. It's going to be hard for you. I don't know. It's hard because it's like I could try to give you some advice, but it's like all this advice is bullshit. Like we're all just doing what we can do to pay our bills. But I would say that one thing that I do, I don't consider myself to be a creative, but I like to make shit. I look at people who are living lives that appeal to me, and I just do what they do. That's really it. And even if they are not, I am still accepting t-shirt designs. Send me an email. And even if they're, new t-shirt design coming out next week. Anyways, even if the people who are living a kind of life aren't exactly in my niche, I figure out a way to tailor it to what I want to do. I haven't seen Queen and Slim, so I can't talk about it. What stereotype do you think is kind of true? I think black people have really good rhythm. I think black people are innately just more rhythmic and more soulful. That's a stereotype. I believe that's true. What other stereotypes do I think are true? Black people are more fun. I don't know. All the good stereotypes. How do poor people get therapy? I would say Open Path Collective. Open Path Collective has a directory of therapists who take reduced fees. So I would go there. Do you hold the hair in your hand to give to the braider when you get box braids? No, I don't. That sounds like the ghetto. Ooh, child, the ghetto. Why? Okay. Thoughts on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? I like her. Young woman, passionate, fiery. I like her. I love her, actually. I think she's great. How do you feel about men who dress up as black women just to portray them as one-dimensional, grimacing, angry, over-sexualized people for farce? I mean, I saw not too long ago a really good. Oh, we're taking this live down, by the way. So, enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, it's gonna go up on Patreon. I think somebody tweeted something not too long ago that I thought was so interesting, and they tweeted that black men dress up as women so much because they don't have an outlet to explore their femininity. Like, dressing up as women is the only way for them to be able to explore femininity without being demonized, and I absolutely believe that. So yeah, I think that black men need to stop if they're gonna do it. Like, sometimes I think it's funny, but like doing it so stereotypically is like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? They're just perpetuating. And also, dressing up as women is an acceptable outlet for your misogynoir, for your hatred of black women. So like, sometimes I think it's funny, sometimes I think it's entertaining, but like capitalizing on the gross misrepresentations of black womanhood, I'm not with that shit. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to keep up with the questions. Okay, sorry. How do you feel about getting a BA degree at 25? Get a BA at whenever. I did not get my BA until I was 23, and that was maybe 24. Yeah, I was 24 when I graduated from college. So do whatever you need to do. If you want to know why I was 24 before I graduated from college, go back and watch the video that has Harvard in the title. Thank you. Have you read any good novels by contemporary black female authors recently? I'm not a big fiction reader. I like to learn in my reading. What's the last good novel? Homegoing was the last great novel that I read. Homegoing by Yad Jessie. Is that how you pronounce her last name? Homegoing or Homecoming? Homegoing. Homegoing. The Turner House was a good one. Yeah. What tips do you have for grieving the loss of a parent? Too many tips. Go on Patreon. Go to therapy. Sorry, that's my answer to everything. Sorry, I honestly, My life would be really extremely fucked up. I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't had access to therapy after my father died. I would be living a completely different life. A terrible life. Which do you prefer, spicy, sweet, or salty? I prefer sweet. I have a horrible sweet tooth. It's going to kill me. I am convinced that I'm going to get cancer because I'm addicted to table sugar, sucrose. I love your hair. No, you don't. You're lying. Thank you. But you don't love my hair, and it's okay. Um, uh, what's your love language? My love language is quality time. Have you ever read Marx, or would you if you haven't? I have read Marx. I'm not a Marxist, but I have read Marx. I do orient toward anti-capitalism, but I'm not quite a Marxist. What are good introductory novels about Black feminism? Introductory novels? I don't know, but good introductory texts is Feminism is for Everybody. Anything by Bell Hooks. You know, I'm a Bell Hooks stan. Everybody needs to read Bell Hooks. You know what? I think that like The Bluest Dye is an interesting novel that kind of hits on some Black feminist ideas. I would even say Beloved, even though Beloved is a hard fucking book to read. Yeah. I talked at length about why I don't like my hair, and so you can just go ahead and rewind that. Sister Outsider is a good book. Do you ever plan on going on tour and doing speeches at campuses? I mean, people have to invite me. I've done lots and lots of public speaking during the course of my career, lots of it. But you got to invite me. And I don't know, I am going to do some more public events. I'm planning it right now. How close should we follow the Bible? As closely as you want to. I mean, I'm not a preacher, so I don't really have a definitive answer on that. Hey Kim, would you ever live abroad? If yes, where? No, I don't have any desire to live abroad. I like living near my family, or I like living close enough to be able to get to them quickly. I like being able to go to big events. I like being able to go to my niece's recitals and celebrate things, holidays, and go to their school. I mean, like, I like that. So I don't want to live abroad. Is Fashion Nova wrong for marketing toward Black women? No. They market toward the people who are going to buy their shit. But fast fashion is bad for the environment. So I'm trying to wean myself off of that. What are your thoughts on the Millbrooks twins' disappearance and the police apathy regarding? I do not know who the Millbrooks twins are. Thoughts on Disney Channel's children's companies having LGBT characters? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. LGBT people exist in the world, so why would they not exist in made up worlds, fictional worlds? I don't know. After all of the freaking hetero propaganda that we're fed from birth, why would I have a problem with LGBTQ people appearing in children's literature? I don't know. Do you know how many fucking Disney princess movies and books and all that shit where they trying to find a man, trying to marry a man? Ariel gave up her voice to be with the man. Same shit. Any thoughts on the Democratic candidates at this point? Anyone you're rooting for? You know, I used to be really pro Elizabeth Warren. I'm not super pro Elizabeth Warren anymore. I'm not against her, but I just don't feel as enthused about her. There's nobody who really is doing it for me at this point. Um, it is what it is. I'll vote for the Democratic nominee. I will encourage everybody to vote for the Democratic nominee. But there's nobody. I mean, I like Julian Castro. Um, but you know, just not. Everybody's just milk toast to me, mediocre. What do you think about T.I. going on Red Table Talk tomorrow? I think it should be interesting. I love Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm a Jada Pinkett Smith fan. It'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm interested in the fact that somebody said that he's going on with Tiny. Tiny is not that girl's mom. So I don't know why Tiny would be coming. How do you feel about people's critique on the portrayal of black parenting on the show Euphoria? I had no problem with the way that black parenting was portrayed on Euphoria. I don't know, what was the critique? Felt pretty real to me. Would you consider being a professor? You would be good. I would be a great professor, but I have absolutely no desire to get a PhD at this point in my life. Maybe in 20 years when like that's the last thing I can do, but I have no desire to spend 5 years in a PhD program and have my time be dictated by somebody else and then go try to be tenure track. Look, I've had a few very intimate relationships with academics and scholars, and I have friends who are academics and scholars, and that life does not appeal to me at all. At all. Having to try to appeal to the sensibilities of white racist institutions, and they dictate your time, and they get to tell you whether or not you have a job and whether or not the work that you want to do is valuable. Oh no. Oh no. That's not the life that I want to live. Mm-mm. No. So I think that scholarship is valuable. I think that black people who choose to go into academia, I support ya. I'm for ya. I'm with ya. I'm rooting for ya. But Kimberly ain't cut out for it. The same way Kimberly is not cut out to go work in a cubicle every day and work at a corporate office, she ain't cut out to try to navigate white racist academia and try to convince people that her work is good enough. Oh no, it's not for me. I like being the boss. I just do. I'm the captain. I like that. What are your thoughts on the hierarchy of intellectualism with folks in the academy and thinkers outside of that space? You know, I think that, like I said, I respect academia. I think it's important. I often reference academics. I read a lot of academic books because I value the kind of rigor and commitment that it takes to be a good academic and to produce that kind of work. But great thinking can be done anywhere. I think the problem that we run into with doing intellectual work outside of the academy is, you know, at the same way that I don't want to have to go through the process of like submitting my work to articles and having a committee decide whether or not I'm worthy of a promotion or not. But there is something valuable in the peer review process. And I think that an obstacle that we encounter in intellectuals, people who do kind of academic-y work outside of that space, is we don't have the framework for accountability and peer review. It doesn't really exist in a really robust way. So people can be out here spreading lies and falsehoods and all of that and never be checked up on. And I think that that's a concern. That's a legitimate concern. But there are brilliant people outside of the academy. There are brilliant people in the academy. You once mentioned about doing an in-depth video on how you research and check cited sources. Is that still in the works? I'm super interested. It is still in the works. I'm working on it. Working on it. Hey, how are you? You once mentioned, oh, okay. Y'all both said the same thing. Okay. I am going to do it. I'm working on it now. I literally am working on it. I have a PowerPoint, you know. Yeah, I'm working on it, you know. Um, what are your thoughts on Robin Crawford's book? I'm just gonna say that if you at For Harriet, then I'm much more likely to read your question because it's just too hard. Up. I like Robin Crawford seems to be very genuine. My nose is running, and so that's why I keep touching my nose. Sorry, let me. You know what it is. You know the vibes. Robin Crawford seems to be really genuine. She seems to be telling the truth. I have no problem with her telling her side of the story. No problem with it. I don't think she's lying. Favorite black cartoons as a kid? Favorite black cartoons as a kid? I don't know. I was a little bit too old for the Proud Family, so I didn't really watch that as a kid. Black cartoons? Oh my gosh. This just brought back a memory for me. No, I am a middle-aged millennial, so y'all are not. This is so niche. But I remember so distinctly the MC Hammer cartoon. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But I remember as a kid watching the MC Hammer cartoon. What other black cartoons did I watch? That's all I can really think of. I mean, does Baby's Kids count? What do you think of black women exclusively dating white Caucasian men? What do you think of black women who want children with white features? I mean, date whoever you want to date. That's how I feel about it. Date whoever you want to date. Just don't pass any toxic bullshit down to children. What are your thoughts on direct action versus institutional and electoral reformism? I don't know. Would you ever be interested in debating people with opposing political beliefs? I'm not debating. I think that shit is so stupid. I think the debate shit is so fucking stupid. And conservatives love that shit because the debate format allows you to be intellectually dishonest. Look, you're talking to somebody who has seen so many fucking debates, who has done it so many times, who grew up doing competitive speech and formulating arguments that are just, you formulate them to elicit a response and not necessarily to be intellectually honest. I know those tricks. I know that shit. That's why I'm not interested in debating that shit. Conservatives are, they enjoy being intellectually dishonest for sport, and so that's why they love those debates. Now, I'm not opposed to having conversations with people I disagree with. I think that's fascinating. I love it. Now, that's fun for me. But I'm not gonna sit here and fucking debate you. For what? For what? Okay. What time is it? Oh God, we've been doing this for a long time. It's time for me to go. I've already talked about Alexis Crawford. I will never do any genetic testing. Never. Never. Y'all, everybody who has done that genetic testing is out here looking crazy as fuck. Now that law enforcement, now that they can subpoena that stuff, they can subpoena your DNA, all that material that you've sent into these companies that are motivated purely by profit. They are not interested in protecting your data at all. They're not interested in protecting our civil liberties at all. And millions of people have sent in their fucking genetic material to them. Oh my God, the fucking goofiest shit I've ever heard. Never. I will never do that. I don't care. I don't care about that. What do you think about creating a business while still in college? I am for it. I know so many people who have done it. I started FORHARRIET when I was a junior in college. It is time for me to go. My nose is stuffed up. My hair looking crazy. If you did not catch this live, sorry for ya. Sorry for ya. It's coming down. It's going on the Patreon. Thank you to everybody who gave money. Oh my gosh, $99? What the fuck? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm going.